Shocking revelation. Husband's heartbreak unfolds, caught in bed with another man at 3 a.m. The clock struck 3, its eerie chime echoing through the dimly lit bedroom. Shadows danced against the walls, whispering secrets of betrayal. John's heart raced as he pushed open the door, his breath hitching in his throat. What he saw there sent his world spinning, a glimpse of warm skin, the rise and fall of bodies tangled together, sheets twisted in a passionate embrace. It wasn't just another man, it was his best friend, Mark. The betrayal twisted like a knife in his gut, and he staggered back, gripping the doorframe. The room smelled of illicit desire, a mix of woodsy cologne and something sweet that turned his stomach. The sight was sickeningly intimate in a way that screamed of deepest secrets. John's hands trembled as his mind raced, visions of laughter and shared beers replaying in his memory, moments that now felt like a cosmic joke. How could Mark, the one he called brother, do this? Questions flooded his mind. Did Rebecca know? Was this just a one-time thing or the surface of something much bigger? The thought paralyzed him. Silence wrapped around the scene like a suffocating blanket, and in that frozen moment, everything shifted. The dance party from earlier, filled with laughter and music, felt like a lifetime ago. Now, the air was thick with dread. John swallowed hard, trying to fight back the rising tide of anguish, a lump forming in his throat. He turned, ready to flee, when a muffled gasp broke the stillness, cutting through his turmoil like glass. John's heart pounded, adrenaline firing through him. Was he about to be caught in a scandal so grave it could shatter their lives and friendships forever? Before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. John stood at a crossroads, his heart throbbing. Should he confront them, demand answers, ruin the moment? A part of him wanted to shout, to unleash the rage and hurt bubbling inside him. But another part, an aching, sickening part, urged him to quietly slip away, to gather himself before facing this shattered reality. As his thoughts spiraled, he stepped back, nearly colliding with the edge of the staircase. The darkness of the hallway loomed behind him, beckoning him into the unknown. What would happen when morning light fell on this betrayal? What would Rebecca say when she found out? The haunting questions spiraled in his mind, leaving him teetering on the brink. The night felt endless, like it was spiraling just out of reach. Was it too late to uncover the truth? What secrets were waiting to unfold? John's breath came in short gasps as he slipped silently back into the darkness of the hallway, the betrayal still seared into his mind. He pressed his back against the cool, hard wall, trying to calm the storm raging within him. Each pulse of his heart seemed to echo the sickening reality that sprawled out behind him, his closest friend, wrapped tightly in a lie. In the arms of his wife, he could still hear their muffled breaths, the soft whispers that had turned into gasps of ecstasy. Anger coursed through his veins like poison. How had he missed it? The signs, the hints, did they even exist? Thoughts of the charming little excursions and late nights spent playing poker with Mark crashed into his consciousness. Each laugh, every shared secret now felt like salt poured into an open wound. But before venturing down the path of revenge, decisions weighed heavy on him. Should he confront them? Drag them through the filth of their betrayal? Or should he wait, plot, and expose them when they were least prepared? A dark thrill sparked in his gut. Both were dangerous paths. John crept down the hallway, every step leading him away from the scene of his shattered trust. He reached the living room, its warm glow contrasting sharply with the dark emotions churning inside him. The remnants of the party, the empty wine bottles, the lingering laughter, too vivid in his mind, felt like jagged shards of glass, cutting at his resolve. The phone buzzed in his pocket, jarring him from his thoughts. He fished it out, hoping for a lifeline in the form of a message from Rebecca, someone who always anchored him. Instead, It was Mark, a simple text. "Hey man, everything okay?" John's hands shook as he read it. What gall! The audacity of his so-called best friend. Did Mark have any idea what havoc he'd just wrought in John's life? His fingers itched to type back something scathing, but he stopped, biting his lip. Revenge takes time, John reminded himself. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. What was done, but there was still a glimmer of hope of figuring this out before the dawn shattered the silence. Maybe he could find some evidence, something to speak to Rebecca. His heart sank. Would she even believe him? Just then, an unsettling thump broke through the quiet night, a heavy footfall echoing down the stairway. Panic shot through him. John pressed himself against the wall, heart racing, hoping it was not the two of them discovering him. He watched as the shadowy figure made its way toward the living room, the figure of Mark, oblivious, or perhaps too consumed by his own guilt to notice John lurking in the dark. As Mark approached, the sound of laughter spilled from the bedroom. It was intoxicating, suffocating, a reminder of what had just happened. John's mind swirled with chaos as he contemplated his next move. Should he confront him now, face this head-on? Or should he wait, letting the secrets unfold at the right moment? What would he discover if he dug deeper? The decision loomed, and with it, an uneasy silence fell, stretching into a heady tension. Tomorrow might bring light to these shadows, but tonight held secrets too powerful to ignore. What if Mark had a secret even deeper than betrayal? John's breath hitched as he took a tentative step back, the dim light falling over the contours of Mark's face. The other man's features were twisted with guilt, and the laughter from the bedroom grew louder, almost mocking him. Was there more to Mark's betrayal? Truth or lies lurked behind those tired eyes. Mark stifled a yawn, leaning against the doorframe, a sense of relief washing over him as he lit a cigarette. Smoke curled in the air, swirling like the confusion in John's mind. Did Mark feel this? Was he aware of how his life was teetering on the brink of chaos? In that moment, the weight of betrayal bore down on John like an anchor, pulling him deeper into darkness. He fought the urge to shout, to lash out, but fear held him firm. What if the laughter stopped? What if the truth wasn't the only thing hidden in that bedroom? Just then, the bedroom door creaked open, and out stepped Rebecca, her hair tousled, eyes sparkling with the remnants of the night. Her expression turned to one of confusion as she spotted Mark. "What are you doing up, babe?" she asked, glancing past him into the living room. John's heart raced. A sudden sense of urgency surged within him. He couldn't stay hidden. They needed to see him. They needed to know he was there. "Hey, I just couldn't sleep," Mark stammered, forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. But there was something about his tone that sent a jolt of ice through John's veins. An edge, a nervous quiver. "John?" she asked, her smile fading as she stepped into the room fully, searching with a wild uncertainty. "Is everything okay?" There it was, the flicker of concern that pierced through the void. But the faint hope fading in her eyes was laced with something else, a flicker of doubt. The moment hung in the air, charged with unspoken words. John knew he had to make his choice swiftly. He stepped out of the shadows, the cool air kissing his skin like a cold slap. The look on Rebecca's face, shock morphing into disbelief, was enough to cut through him like a knife. "John," she gasped, stepping back, her shock palpable. Mark's expression shifted from surprise to guilt, and suddenly, the weight of 3 hearts hung heavy in the air. What secrets had woven their lives together? What lies had been spun so tightly that they intertwined? "Why, Mark?" John's voice was barely a whisper, cracks forming under the weight of betrayal. "Why would you do this?" Mark opened his mouth, perhaps to offer a lie, a distraction, but instead, he fell silent. Perhaps it was the gravity of the moment that silenced him, or the realization that the truth was finally about to burst from its cage. "I needed to tell you something," Mark finally said, his voice trembling. The words felt like blades, sharp and unforgiving. "But there's more to this than you know." Before he could finish, the sound of something clattering in the kitchen echoed through the house. A glass breaking, a muffled gasp. All heads whipped toward the source of the noise. What was happening? "Stay here," Rebecca shouted as she spun around, rushing toward the kitchen. Panic surged through John, gripping him tightly. No. Wait. He shouted, but the words drifted into the frantic silence. What was lurking behind that door? More secrets? More lies? John felt his guts twist into knots. He had a choice: follow Rebecca into the chaos or confront Mark, who stood wide-eyed, a mix of fear and relief written across his features. As the kitchen door swung open, the last remnants of calm shattered. John was frozen, caught in a moment where everything could change. Whatever lay in that kitchen was ready to reveal a truth more potent than the betrayal he already faced. What had just crashed into their reality, and would it unravel everything all over again? The tension hung heavy as John's heart raced with each second that ticked away. He snatched a rapid breath, his instincts screaming at him to act. Just as he took a step forward, a scream shattered the air. It was Rebecca. "John, get in here." Fear twisted in John's gut, compelling him to rush toward the kitchen. He burst through the doorway and was met with a chilling scene. A wine bottle lay shattered on the floor, its crimson contents pooling like blood amidst the shards of glass. But that wasn't the gruesome part. A figure slumped against the kitchen counter, crumpled and breathless, eyes wide with shock. John recognized him instantly. Ryan? Their mutual friend, once vibrant and full of life, was now pale and trembling. The tear-streaked face bore a look of utter horror. Behind him, the smell of burnt toast wafted through the air, clashing dreadfully with the chaos that enveloped the room. "Help him!" Rebecca cried, panic forming in her voice like an echo. She was shaking, crouching next to Ryan, her hands pressed against the man's chest, as if wiling him to breathe again. "What happened?" "Ryan, please." Mark was beside her now, looking helpless. John could feel the adrenaline surge within, drowning out the weight of betrayal that had so occupied his mind moments earlier. "What is going on?" John gasped, his eyes darting between them. "What happened to him?" Rebecca turned, tears staining her cheeks. He fainted, I think. When I came in, he was just like this." As urgency gripped him, John knelt beside Ryan, placing a hand gently on his shoulder. "Hey man, you with us?" His voice was low, steady. Ryan blinked, trying to focus. I saw something, guys," he mumbled, a wheeze betraying his struggle. I wasn't trying to intrude, but his words faltered, and he coughed, the sound rattling through the tense silence. "What did you see?" Mark's voice trembled, and for the first time, John noticed the fear crawling across his best friend's face. What could have terrified Mark, who had just moments before been a picture of calm? "I saw it all," Ryan continued, slumping lower, his breath uneven. "In the bedroom you need to know stop," John shouted, more than aware that the potential unraveling of everything he knew was imminent. Morbid curiosity clawed at him, yet he needed to hear it. "What did you see?" Before Ryan could answer, the kitchen flickered with lights. The power surged, then faltered, shadows parading chaotically on the walls. "Damn it," Mark cursed, glancing at the window, where the street lights were dimming to a hazy glow. "We need to get out of here." "Are you kidding?" Rebecca shot back, her voice trembling but fierce. "What if he needs help?" As they debated, John's mind was swirling with suspense. What else was happening? There was something more lurking in the shadows. Suddenly, the front door creaked and swung open, and a figure stepped inside. John turned, his heart lurching. Who had come now? "Hey, is everything all right?" The voice was familiar, yet it sent chills down John's spine. "Who the hell?" John began, but it was too late. The atmosphere shifted violently as Rebecca gasped again. It was Emily, Mark's sister. The look on her face suggested she carried secrets darker than the night itself. Had she come to reveal the truth? Or was she tied to the chaos that had suddenly engulfed their lives? Questions flashed through John's mind, mingling with the already seething chaos. Whatever had just crashed into their reality was threatening to pull him deeper into darkness. What glimmer of truth might explode next, and would it shatter them all? The moment Emily stepped into the kitchen, the air thickened with tension. John's heart pounded like a hammer against his chest. He took a step back, instinctively trying to establish some distance between himself and this unsettling presence. "Emily?" Mark's voice attempted to steady what it could, but it came out as a strained question. It felt like the ground beneath them had shifted, leaving them on shaky ground. Ryan? What happened? Emily stepped closer to him, her eyes searching his face. There was a flicker of recognition, tempered by concern. He saw something, Rebecca stammered, glancing nervously from Emily to Ryan, who remained slumped, struggling for coherence. He needs help. But Emily's gaze shifted. It hardened as she focused on John. What do you know about this? Know about what? John shot back. Some clarity would be nice. Shut up, Mark barked. This isn't the time for your petty arguments. Anger flushed through John, a mixture of confusion and adrenaline. They were at a boiling point, and he could feel it ready to overflow. What are we doing here? What did Ryan see, for crying out loud? The urgency surged through him. It was like an electric pulse, crackling in the air. Ryan took a shaky breath, managing to lift his head for a moment. I was looking for you guys. I thought something was wrong. His voice was faint, but laced with panic. In the bedroom. I swear I saw someone. Someone? Emily echoed, her eyes narrowing. What do you mean someone? Someone in the bed. Ryan gasped, his face paling further as he recalled the image. But they weren't alone. Silence crashed into the room, heavy and oppressive. Mark clenched his jaw, shooting Emily a wild look that spoke volumes. The unspoken fear lingered. Who else was involved? Suddenly, the power gave another jolt, flickering the lights once more. The shadows writhed along the walls, creating a distorted dance that left them feeling exposed and frantic. Did you tell anyone else? John asked, his voice barely above a whisper. He could feel the betrayal hang in the air, more suffocating than before. No, just you guys. Ryan sputtered, a hint of desperation creeping into his tone. I thought it was just a bad dream at first. This time, it was Rebecca who shook her head, her eyes glistening with fear. Why would you think that? Emily stepped forward. If there's someone else, we have to know who it is, she insisted, an edge in her tone. None of us can just sit here. Before they could react, the sound of glass shattered again. This time, it was louder, more aggressive, coming from deeper within the house. Everyone froze, eyes widening. What was that? Mark shouted, terror rippling through him. I don't know. John's voice broke as he felt a chill sweep through the room. It came from the hall. The curiosity pulled at him, but so did the instinct to flee. This felt wrong on so many levels. Emily looked toward the noise, the fear flickering in her eyes. Stay here, she commanded, but there was a tremor in her voice. Why would anyone stay here? John shot back, every instinct screaming to get them all out, but before they could even contemplate a plan, the front door swung violently open again, this time knocking against the wall with a thud that echoed through the silence. Who is there? John shouted, nerves fraying, eyes darting towards the entrance. A figure emerged, silhouetted against the darkening sky, and as they stepped inside, the outline twisted into the shape of a stranger, someone none of them recognized, with a menacing grin that promised chaos. Looks like I've found the party, the stranger crooned. John felt his heart drop. What had just entered their lives? What did this mean for them? The doorway felt like a threshold to an even darker reality, yet there was no going back now. What had Ryan really uncovered? And where would it lead them next? There was a tense heartbeat of silence as the figure remained poised in the doorway, the menacing grin carved across their face, sending a wave of dread crashing over the group. John's breath quickened. It felt as if time suspended, the air heavy like a thick curtain, oppressing and suffocating. Who are you? Emily stepped forward, voice shaking but resolute. The stranger chuckled softly, a low, unsettling sound that sent chills down John's spine. Oh, I'm just a guest, crashing a party that's already quite delightful, they said, dripping with sarcasm. Get out! Mark shouted, advancing toward the figure. The sudden rush of bravery clashed with the apprehension mounting in the room. You don't belong here. Without seeming to move, the stranger locked eyes with Mark, an unsettling glint flashing in their gaze. Do I need an invitation? It seems Ryan here had a peek into my little surprise. The tension escalated, and John felt his pulse quicken. Ryan shifted his weight, visibly trembling as the weight of the accusation hung in the air. "Get away from him!" cried Rebecca, stepping closer to Ryan, outraged and protective. "Take it easy, sweetheart," the stranger said, waving them off casually, like they were brushing away an annoyance. "I'm not here to hurt anyone." Their voice turned dark, suddenly sharp. "Unless you give me a reason." John's heart raced. Thoughts swirled. Who is this person? What did they want? And why did they seem to know Ryan? John couldn't shake the terrible feeling that revealing the truth was only going to unearth deeper nightmares. "Who sent you?" Emily's voice rose, desperate but firm. Her eyes were locked onto the stranger, absorbing every detail, the way their lips curled and the unholy glint in their eyes. "Oh, let us just say I have unfinished business with some of you, particularly with those who think they can hide secrets under a roof without consequences." The figure fixed their gaze on John, a knowing smirk creeping up their face, almost taunting him. "You think this is a joke?" Mark yelled, anger flaring. "We don't have time for this. We need to call the police." "Police?" The stranger's laugh echoed, sending another shiver through John. "Who do you think they'd believe? The lost boys and girls here, or someone who knows the real story?" Ryan finally found his voice, stepping forward uncertainly. "What do you want from us?" His words trembled, an edge of defiance battling with fear. "I want you to understand the game you're all playing," the stranger replied, their tones suddenly chillingly serious. "These walls hold secrets. And I am here to remind you that every secret comes with a price." As dread swept over the group, the lights flickered again, casting intense shadows that seemed to lunge at them like specters. Panic surged in John's chest, the air thickening until he felt suffocated. Then, without warning, the flickering stopped, plunging them into darkness. Something crashed in the house, echoing in ominous resonance as a gust of wind seemed to sweep through the open door, as if a storm was brewing outside. "Now let us see how much you all are willing to pay." The stranger's eyes gleamed in the sudden darkness, their voice cutting through the silence like a knife. John's pulse raced even faster, discomfort spiraled into terror. The figure seemed to revel in the chaos they'd unleashed. What other secrets lay buried beneath the surface? How deep did this web of deception go? And would they all make it out alive? The walls felt like they were closing in, and anxiety gripped John. He couldn't let this stranger take control. But how? Where would they find the courage to confront the truth now lurking in the shadows? The answers seemed to elude him as the tension thickened, ready to explode. The darkness enveloped them, an oppressive blanket that tightened around their throats. John's hands shook, and he could feel the sweat pooling at the base of his spine. "Everyone stay calm," he whispered, his voice barely a murmur in the void. The whisper struck a weak chord of reassurance, though it drowned in the air thick with fear. The figure's laughter echoed, a chilling sound that danced through the darkness like a ghostly waltz. "Calm? Oh, that would be delightful. But isn't it's so much more fun when chaos reigns?" The words dripped with a sinister pleasure, as though the stranger fed off their terror. Emily's voice seemed to cut through the fog. "What do you want?" Her tone carried a mix of defiance and dread, each word a delicate balancing act over the precipice of panic. "Didn't I say?" "Secrets buried secrets," the stranger taunted, their silhouette shifting unpredictably like a shadow cast by flickering firelight. "You have so many, climbing over each other like ants trying to escape a flood." Suddenly, a bright flash of lightning illuminated the room through the windows, casting a jagged light that flickered like a heartbeat. For a brief moment, John caught the stranger's expression, feral, hungry. The sight threatened to suffocate him. Mark's voice betrayed him as he faltered, We can talk about this." "Talk?" The stranger's tone contorted into something mocking. "What is there to talk about? You're all living a lie, wrapped in each other's arms, believing your secrets one day come crawling back." In the abrupt silence that followed, Rebecca gasped, her breath hitching. "What do you know about our secrets?" "Everything, darling." The statement slithered into the air, wrapping around each of them, tightening with every passing second. "Your dear friend Ryan here has played puppet master, and now the strings are unraveling." Ryan's eyes widened, his face pale. What are you talking about? I saw the way you shook when I came in. You thought you could bury the past and pretend like it never happened. The stranger took a small step forward, menacing in the deep shadows. But here I am, prepared to unearth it all and expose you. John's heart dropped. He could sense the wretched truth hanging over them like a dark fog. What past? What was Ryan hiding? Shut up, Mark yelled, fists clenched, but the urgency in his voice made it clear he was losing his cool. Lightning struck again, momentarily overpowering the darkness. Every face twisted in anticipation, shock written across their features as connection after connection began to unravel in John's mind. Truth hurts, and boy, are you all in for a painful awakening, the stranger sneered, reveling in their fear. Are you ready to pay the price for your hidden sins? Each word slammed into John like heavy stones, weighing him down, binding him. What truths were about to surface? A chilling wind swept through the house, stinging John's skin, as if soon the walls themselves would spill their secrets. Time is ticking, the stranger taunted, excitement edging their voice. How much longer can you all keep your mouths shut? How much time before everything you've hidden explodes? A crack splintered through the wall, a sound so loud it sent them reeling. What was that? Emily's voice trembled, fear lacing her question. John fought the urge to flee. We can't let this person take control, he insisted. We have to stand together. Together? The figure feigned innocence, a mockery in their gaze. Oh, but isn't that what got you here in the first place? As the tension crescendoed, the lights flickered back on, their harshness nearly blinding as every pair of eyes turned once again to the intruder. An unsettling silence hugged the room, an electric charge sizzling in the air. Have you all decided? What will you sacrifice to protect your precious little lives? John felt the urgency push against him, a desperate reckoning on the horizon. Would they confront the past, or let one of their own be torn apart by secrets? And before he could gather his thoughts, the stranger's voice dropped to a whisper. Choose wisely, time is running out. His heart pounded. What would they decide in the face of a truth that could shatter everything they held dear? The group stood on the precipice of revelation, staring into the abyss of their haunted history. Would they rise together or fall apart? The silence stretched, agonizingly taut, as the group processed the stranger's sinister ultimatum. Each heartbeat felt magnified, echoing like the rumble of distant thunder. John scanned his friends, searching their faces for a hint of courage, but all he saw was fear gnawing at their resolve. What does it even matter anymore? Ryan's voice splintered the air, hollow and defeated. We can't keep living like this, hiding, pretending. Pretending? The figure's voice poured over them like syrup, thick and suffocating. How deliciously delusional. But isn't it time to peel back the layers of this little charade? No, Emily shouted, her face a mask of fury. You can't just come in here and can I? The stranger leaned closer, the shadows swallowing them whole. You see, dear Emily, the truth isn't just a suggestion. It's a force, a storm brewing on the horizon, and right now, you're standing right in its path. A sudden crash outside sent them all jumping, hearts racing in sync with the growing tumult of the storm. Rain lashed against the windows like furious hands, desperate to invade their sanctuary. Each drop seemed a harbinger of the secrets threatening to spill from within them. Enough. Mark surged forward, a moment of bravery piercing through the thick air. We want to give you what you want. You're just trying to manipulate us. Manipulate? The stranger let out a laugh, sharp as broken glass. Oh, my sweet little friends, this isn't manipulation. This is liberation. You'll thank me one day for the truths I'm about to unveil. With a flick of their wrist, the stranger gestured toward the nearest wall. Tell me, friends, how far do you think it can crack before it shatters? Is it the lies you've told? Or the love you've buried? The group exchanged glances, a cacophony of unsaid words hanging between them. Would they break like the walls around them, or could they withstand the tremors of their own histories? Ryan, what did you do? John's question sliced through the tension. What secrets are we hiding? For a moment, Ryan's bravado faltered, his eyes darting, revealing the storm brewing within. I haven't done anything. I mean, not recently, but it's not what you think. Lightning danced outside, catching the glint of fear in his eyes, and a part of John wanted to reach out to comfort him. But the stranger's presence loomed, an ever-present weight on their collective conscience. Does love blind you to betrayal? The figure licked their lips, relishing the chaos they'd sown. Or do you all prefer to keep your eyes tightly shut, pretending that none of it exists? Shut up, Mark yelled, desperation spilling over as the panic clawed at his throat. We don't need to listen to you. Whatever you think you know, it means nothing. A wave of laughter rolled from the intruder, each sound a nail in their feverish atmosphere. Denial. Such a clever little game. But soon, my friends, you will find there's no hiding from the truth. It'll hunt you down like prey in the dark. John felt the noose of anxiety tightening. What grotesque revelation would emerge next? The darkness around them pulsed with invisible energy, like a monster thrumming with anticipation. Suddenly, a chilling crash resonated from above. It echoed menacingly. A piece of the ceiling fell, sending dust swirling into the air, dripping with ominous potential. What was that? Emily shrieked, backing away, eyes wide with terror. An omen. The stranger's voice dripped with satisfaction. Everything is connected. The cracks in this house? They're nothing compared to the fissures in your hearts. The wind howled outside, its gusts slinking through the room, wrapping around John's limbs like icy fingers. His mind raced. They had to act. But how could they confront a past they weren't ready to face? Ryan, John said, trying to regain control. We're here for you. But you need to tell us the truth now. Before it's too late. Before what? The question lingered in the air. The weight felt almost tangible. Their friend's face twisted with anguish, emotions battling for dominance. Outside, the storm raged. On, a reflection of their inner turmoil. Each of them stood at the edge of oblivion, ready to tumble into the uncaring abyss unless they could forge a powerful truth together. What would happen when the storm finally broke? Would they unite to face the darkness, or be scattered like the shattered walls of their fragile sanctuary? As the lights flickered ominously, John sensed a change brewing. A decision had to be made. Now or never. And there, amidst the tempest, the stranger's whisper cut through the chaos. Are you not curious about what lies beneath the surface? Time's almost up. The air thickened with tension as Ryan struggled to articulate the truth. The walls felt like they were closing in on him. Shadows danced ominously, twisting each face into something unrecognizable with the flickering light. Ryan, just say it. Emily urged, desperation coloring her voice. Whatever it is, we can handle it. We're in this together. But Ryan shook his head, eyes glassy with unshed tears. You don't understand, I don't want to hurt you. I can't. Damn it. Mark slammed his fist into a table, frantic energy pouring forth. You think keeping this a secret is the answer? Look around. We're already falling apart. Your denial is haunting, the stranger mused, their voice smooth as silk yet charged with menace. But trust me, the truth will slither out, whether you want it to or not. Better to face it directly before it devours you whole. With another crash of thunder, the lights flickered once more, casting erratic shadows that seemed to mock their fear. Emily threw her hands up, frustration boiling over. Stop playing games. What do you know? The figure smiled, a sinister curve of lips that chilled John's blood. Oh, everything and nothing at all, dear Emily. But if you truly wish to see, look into each other's eyes. Those reflections may reveal more than you wish to admit. Stop. Ryan stepped back, breathing fast. If I say it, it'll change everything. I can't just ruin things. Isn't it already ruined? The stranger pressed on, eyes glinting, almost gleeful in their torment. The cracks have formed long before this night. It's time to expose the fractures, before they consume you. John swallowed hard, the lump in his throat almost choking him. Something inside him gripped with fear and a strange understanding. Each of them carried burdens. Secrets they had kept hidden not only from each other but from themselves. Ryan, please, he coaxed, sensing time unraveling. Whatever it is, we can deal with it. We owe it to each other. Silence fell like a merciless weight. The tension became palpable as Ryan breathed in deeply, wrestling with the tumult in his soul. A shadow of regret flickered across his features, and finally, he opened his mouth, the words trembling on the precipice of emergence. "I had an affair." The words spilled out, raw and jagged. "With someone you all know." A collective inhale ricocheted around the room, freezing them in place. The stranger's laughter danced in the air, taunting. "Ah, sweet betrayal. Deliciously complicated, isn't it?" "Who?" Mark's demand sliced through the tension, eyes glistening with fury. Ryan looked left, then right, his features twisting in torment. "It was with Sarah." The name dropped like a stone, plunging them into deeper despair. Sarah, their friend, the one who held their group together, someone they trusted implicitly. John felt rage and disbelief crash over him like tidal waves. The outsider's words echoed in his mind, igniting what was hidden beneath their laughter and friendship. "No way," Mark whispered, disbelief shaking him. "You slept with her?" "I didn't mean to." "It just happened," Ryan pleaded, voice cracking. "We were drunk, lonely. I thought it was a mistake. But now it feels like an unending nightmare." As their breaths synchronized with the furious wind outside, the darkness pressed in tighter, knotting their hearts. The storm, both literal and metaphorical, lashed around the house. The walls creaked, mirroring their internal conflict as Emily's face drained of color. "Ryan, you're killing us," she choked out, eyes wide with hurt. "Do you know what you've done? Do you know how much this will change everything?" "Trust is fragile," the stranger chimed in, eyeing them with glee. "Once broken, it rarely returns to its original form. Welcome to the real world." Silence filled the room, suffocating but vibrant with possibility. Each of them grappled with the intensity of betrayal. John felt torn apart, the thought of Sarah twisting his gut like a knife. Was this the truth that would unleash their own demons? Suddenly, the air shifted. Outside, the storm intensified. The lights flickered violently before plunging them into darkness. Now we see the stranger's voice lingered in the air, dripping with anticipation. Just then, they heard a loud bang above them, a sound so powerful it threatened to rip the roof off their cocoon of despair. "What was that?" John gasped, adrenaline spiking. "Are we safe?" The answer hung heavy in the air, pulsing with the impending revelations yet to come. They were on borrowed time, teetering on the edge of devastation. Laura's face paled, her next words barely audible. "What if our secrets aren't the only ones at stake?" The questions echoed, and as darkness enveloped them, only one thing remained certain: the storm was far from over. The storm raged outside, thunder crashing like distorted emotions threatening to consume them. The air, thick with fear and betrayal, wrapped around John like a vice. Their sanctuary had transformed into a battlefield of secrets, line between friendship and mistrust blurred beyond recognition. He could feel the weight of their unspoken truths pressing them toward inevitable confrontation. "Ryan, we need to know everything," John urged, desperation clawing at his voice. "This isn't just about you anymore." Ryan's gaze darted around the room, panic flooding his features. "You don't get it. I didn't mean for it to happen. None of this was supposed to spiral out of control." Mark slammed his palm against the counter, frustration boiling over. "Then stop hiding. You think this is hurting just you? Every lie pushes us further apart." The thunder roared again, matching the chaos of their mounting emotions. Emily's brows knitted, her green eyes unwavering as she stepped forward. "Ryan, if Sarah is involved, doesn't that change everything? She deserves to know." His face dropped, shame washing over him. "I was going to tell her, but then I got scared." "Scared?" Rebecca's voice trembled, hurt flooding the edges. "We're all scared, Ryan. But we can't keep pretending this can be swept under the rug." The outsider, lingering in the shadows, reveled in their despair. "Oh, how delightful. Secrets piling onto secrets, like a glorious cake frosted with betrayal." Their voice lilted, a taunt lingering on each syllable. John felt bile rise with each word dripping with malice. They had to rise above this twisted game. "Enough, we all need to take accountability." This isn't about just one person's failings, it's about all of us. Mark clenched his fists, breathing heavily. So what? We just leave this moment and never face the truth? That's not an option. The flickering power pulsed in and out, shadows growing wild around them. John clenched his jaw, feeling the frustration tightening as shadows danced across the faces of his friends. Let us face it together. Let us unravel these lies before they tear us apart completely. John urged fiercely, his heart pounding. Ryan's voice cracked like glass as he finally confessed, I didn't just betray either of you. There's something else, someone else. The room chilled. Silence engulfed them, a breathless pause filled with tension. Who? Emily asked, her heart clearly hanging on the precipice of truth. Deep down, John felt the nausea of fear creeping up again. Someone you all know, someone I shouldn't have gotten involved with. John's breath hitched, a knot forming in his gut. Ryan, you have to say it. He hesitated, regret heavy on his shoulders. But deep breaths filled him, and he finally said, It was Melissa. And Melissa? Shock echoed in each word. How long? Just that one night. I thought it might fix the hole inside me, but it didn't. It just made everything worse. You went to her? And while Mark's voice steadied, each syllable like stones thumping senselessly into the still air. You lied to all of us. To the people who care about you. You all know me. I lost myself in anger after the breakup, Ryan stammered, tears streaming down his face. Anger isn't a reason to betray us. John shouted, voice breaking. Do you hear yourself? Outside, lightning flashed again, illuminating the faces twisted with agony. Heart pounding, John felt their gathered pain feeding into one unyielding heart. They needed to reconcile, to pick up the broken pieces and stitch them back together. Rebecca stepped forward, her presence solid. We can work through this, Ryan. But you must be honest with us and yourself. Honest? You think honesty can repair broken trust? Ryan challenged, his voice quaking with vulnerability. Mark took a breath, frustration simmering as he steadied himself. Trust is fragile, yes. But it can grow back. It takes work, strength, and willingness to face it. The stranger's laugh echoed, a chilling sound muted by the rain drumming against the windows. How quaint. You believe in the power of reconciliation. But it's only as good as the threads keeping it together. Shut up. John cried out, heart racing. You don't get to undermine us. We've faced worse. We're strong enough to find clarity even in chaos. Chaos only breeds chaos, the figure hissed, eyes gleaming in the momentary flashes of lightning. Then we break the cycle, John declared, each word an affirmation of resolve. Ryan, do you believe confronting this will free us? The question hung, heavy with expectation. Ryan's gaze flickered like a candle fighting against a gust of wind, but a glimmer of hope sparked within him. Yes, I want to be free. Then let us tear this apart, Emily urged, stepping toward Ryan, hand reaching out encouragingly. Together. Yes, Mark echoed, moving closer, facing Ryan and standing firm with his support. You're not alone in this. We are all here. In that moment, silence broke like glass, and the figure recoiled, their smile fading. The group was pulling together, choosing hope over animosity, connection over betrayal. The stranger's laughter waned, their form flickering as their power seemed to dissipate like fog. Perhaps it's time for me to move on. But don't be surprised if the secrets return like shadows lurking in the corners. The lights flickered before stabilizing, illuminating their determination, casting away the lingering darkness. As the storm began to calm, John felt a sense of clarity wash over them, a fresh breath igniting with courage. Together, they turned to Ryan, united as truth-bound allies instead of fractured friends. Let us face this together. Let us clear the debris before the dawn breaks. One by one, they took a step forward, resolute to embrace their vulnerabilities. And as the winds outside whimpered into a soft shower, they knew a new chapter was unfolding, one where truth could rebuild the trust they thought lost to chaos forever. The calm after the storm promised possibilities for healing, renewal, and grace. Don't forget what united them through this tempest: love. The kind that, at its core, could embrace even the deepest scars. Now it was time to rise, hand in hand, as the dawn began to chase away the dark. But before you go, make sure you subscribe immediately to our channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that could inspire your own journey. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and spread the positivity this story brings. And flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about what's coming next. Your voice matters. Finally, don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear this conclusion. Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful stories,